First and foremost, we would like to praise and thank the Lord God Almighty for guiding us safely here to attend today's hearing. We thank Him for giving us the strength, the patience, the perseverance, the wisdom, and the resilience to overcome the challenges and adversities that we encountered for the last 8 years. Our unwavering faith in Him finally bore its fruit as He has opened the window and gave us this opportunity to tell our story. Likewise, we are also very grateful to this honorable committee for providing us this venue to finally air our side. It was on August 7, 2016 that our names were included in the announcement of then President Duterte as among those involved in the illegal drug trade. Amidst the chaos and confusion brought about by such announcement, we reported to Camp Crame the following day in adherence to the order of former PRRD that we appear within 24 hours. When we finally had our audience with then Chief PNP, General Bato de la Rosa, we were instantly berated and humiliated in front of national television without even bothering to hear a side first for the sake of fairness. In the bar of public opinion, we were already adjudged guilty. It is worth noting that the list that the former president used as a basis to tag our involvement in illegal drug activities was erroneous, and obviously it was never validated. Some had no first names. Names were misspelled. Ranks and designations indicated were incorrect. And in fact, one of the names mentioned, that of a certain Judge Mupas, was already dead. Further, the names of PROSIX personnel that were called has a common denominator. Almost all were formerly assigned with Iloilo City Police Office. Some were former city directors, intelligence officers, and station commanders, which was then under the operational control of Iloilo City Mayor Jed Mabilog, who was also included in the list. Notwithstanding all this, we were all made to report to PNP IAS, where they interviewed us, but nothing came out of it and no charges were filed. We were then all assigned at PHAW DPRM based on floating status, and months after, were eventually charged by NAPOLCOM 6. Now, what actually transpired was that we first received a memo from NAPOLCOM 6 containing no specific charges, but instead, it was only asking us to comment why our names were included in the PRRD announcement. This is a classic case of fishing expedition. True enough, they used or issued comments as basis to file cases against us for incompetence, gross neglect of duty, and conduct unbecoming of a police officer. To add, almost all of us, or if not all of us, were already assigned at PHAW DPRM Camp Crame when NAPOLCOM 6 filed a case against us. Hence, there is an issue or question of jurisdiction, as we believe that it should be the NAPOLCOM Central Office who should have initiated the filing of the case against us. While awaiting for the resolution of our cases, some of us were assigned to far-flung regions while others remained in floating status. Finally, in 2021, we all received the NAPOLCOM decision where it decided with finality a dismissal from the PNP service. However, we did not receive the resolution explaining and discussing in detail why our motions were denied. Apparently, NAPOLCOM NBank simply affirmed the decision of NAPOLCOM 6 dismissing us, and we're not even sure if they even read the arguments and valid points that we raised in our motion for reconsideration, and the absence of such resolution in a way confirms this presumption. As a legal recourse, we immediately elevated our case to the Civil Service Commission, where our appeal is pending until now. For the past 8 years, we struggled to overcome our predicament. We were financially, mentally, and emotionally challenged. Needless to say, our morale was also affected. We were publicly persecuted as our names were repeatedly mentioned in print and broadcast media. We had to bear the stigma of being labeled as drug protectors. And in fact, a video of us being shouted at by the former Chief PNP can still be accessed in social media, a grim reminder of the injustice that was done to us. The burden of explaining to everyone who cared to ask about our situation was tiring and stressful. This burden also took a toll on our respective families. There were instances of bullying experienced by our children, and the feeling of anxiety and concern over our safety always haunts our family. But what bothered us most is that when we were finally dismissed, the nominal complainant of NAPOLCOM 6 who penned the decision of our dismissal apologized to each one of us in different occasions. According to him, they really have no basis to dismiss us, but that their hands are tied as they are only following the instructions from higher-ups. Now, the question that begs to be answered is, who are these higher-ups? To say that this apology and revelation astounded us is an understatement. We are a government of laws and not of men. The rule of law is a system of laws, institutions and norms that laws, not people, rule. Damage has been done. Our reputation and credibility were tainted. Our careers and families were affected. Opportunities such as our promotions were lost. We can't turn back lost time. It is gone forever. But we must continue to move on because we believe that the quest for justice knows no time limits and has no expiration. It will always be there for the taking. You just have to fight for it. We seek justice not only for ourselves and our families, but to our beloved Iloilo City as well, which was unfairly labeled as the most tribalized city in the Philippines. This is definitely not true, and the records will bear us out. This is also an appeal for justice for our companions who are placed in the watch list and killed. Kausap mo lang sa krami sa weekdays, patay na pag-uwi sa weekends. We hope that those responsible for this injustice, including those people who knew that it was wrong, but still covered it up by their silence and inaction, would be held accountable. On hindsight, we now realize that we were never actually charged or denied due process, as our inclusion in the watch list seems to be their only basis of our dismissal. A Jewish victim of the Holocaust once said, "What is done cannot be undone, but one can prevent it from happening again." And this is exactly what this honorable committee is doing now, preventing these things we experience from happening again through legislation. And again, we would like to reiterate our gratitude to this committee for giving us this chance to raise valid and relevant issues and for being consistent in your efforts to ferret out the truth and make things right. Most importantly, we pay tribute to our families whose unconditional love, trust, and all-out support gave us the strength to overcome and endure the sacrifices that came my way. They never doubted us. No ifs, no buts. They simply believed. They got our backs, and that meant the world to us. To end, Mr. Chair, I would like to say a line that is common among men in uniform, and it states, "Take and take until you take no more." With this hearing, Mr. Chair, hopefully we will take no more. Thank you, and to God be the glory, Mr. Chair.